Good morning. Tuesday morning, March 23rd. Yeah, March 23rd. Beautiful Tuesday morning. The sun hasn't yet crested the horizon, but there's a low mist, a cloud inversion that's hanging low on the ground that makes the morning after a rain so beautiful. And so here we are together. I haven't seen any numbers pop up yet, and so I'm wondering if sometime YouTube is quirky about this stuff. Oh, there's somebody. Let's see. Karen Lowe. Good to see you this morning. Sally Crocker, welcome. Some people have been telling me that since Facebook's new update or whatever, it's been hard to find. You're not getting notifications when I go live. I'm not really sure the workaround about that. If anybody has any answers to that, it'd be great if you chimed in. Let the rest of us know. Deanne Fine, good morning to you. I see you there. But I love these low clouds. It creates this mist and this kind of soft lighting that is absolutely beautiful on mornings like this. We're in Psalm 112 again this morning. We're going to be here all week long. Jeremy and Wendy, hello to you. Good morning. Welcome. And this is in honor of my grandmother, who this psalm was read at her service on Saturday. And so I just was really impressed by the psalm and so many great nuggets in it. So we're just going to share it all week long. Lori Agassi, good to see you this morning. Letitia Sexton, good morning. Daryl and Suzanne, good to see you this morning. Hoping you are well today. There's my mom, good morning. I'm going to read the opening verse of Psalm 112. I'll probably read that every morning, and then I'll do the actual verse that we're going to talk about. The first verse says, "Praise the Lord, blessed is the man," or blessed is the one who fears the Lord, who greatly delights in his commandments. And then it goes on, the psalm goes on to tell about all the attributes of someone who is blessed, who fears the Lord, who delights in his commandments. You're living in the will of God. You're trusting in him and his steadfast love. And so the verse I want to highlight today is that one of the qualities of someone who delights in God, who's blessed by God because they fear God, is in verse 7, says, he or she is not afraid of bad news. Their heart is firm, trusting in the Lord. I love this verse because it is a quality that I'm working on. I'm working on all the time, right? And I'm sure that many of you can relate how the things of life that occupy our mind are oftentimes has to do with the future, the uncertainty of the future. And they're usually, because it's an event in the future or something in the future, and potentially bad, it's also something that we have no control over. We're awaiting the results of a doctor appointment or a lab result. We're awaiting the result of an application we put in. We are looking forward to something that there's some question as to whether or not it's going to take place, and so on. And anything that has to do with our future is uncertain. We don't have 100% control over. We do a lot of things to greatly increase the likelihood of something happening in the future, but we honestly just don't have control over it. And it can be a source of fear. And that there's going to be bad news on the horizon. I'm just waiting that phone call. And all of us have experienced bad news. We've experienced getting that phone call, and it's kind of even maybe heightened our anticipation of it sometimes when we allow our mind to creep into that area. And so this verse, in Psalm 112, talks about the one who is blessed because they don't fear bad news. They don't fear any bad news. Why? Because their trust is in the Lord, and therefore their heart is firm. And so I want to talk about that a little bit this morning. Why could we not fear bad news? It's not that bad news isn't coming, because it comes. We've all experienced it. So how is our heart firm? It's because our trust is in the Lord. That's number one. And when we trust in the Lord, to the degree that we do not fear bad news, we are trusting in His character to give us the right amount of strength, comfort, resilience, perseverance, wisdom while we go through that bad news. And we know that God is sovereign. God is in control of all things, that nothing will be in our path that He doesn't allow, that He won't bring into our life without also the ability to endure, to get through it. And it's oftentimes that in these difficult experiences that God performs His most significant work in our lives. And so in that sense, because we know this, there is a sense in which blessing includes those things that cause us some degree of pain and difficulty, because that blessing results in our growth, the development of our character, that we are growing to more mature people. And so knowing all of this about God who holds the future, knowing this, that God is going to be there, that He's not only going to give us the strength, the wisdom, the perseverance, and so on, He Himself will be there in our future. God is already there. And He will walk us through every moment of every day, no matter if it's good or difficult, no matter what news comes our direction, we know God is there. Psalm 23 says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." Why? Because You are with me. Your rod and Your staff, they comfort me. God's right there walking with us through whatever difficulty comes. And if we are meditating on the power of God, the love of God, the character of God, the fact that God holds the world in His hands, that God sees, that God hears, that He is right there with us every step of the way, then we feel like, yeah, why should we fear? God is right there. There's no bad news on the horizon that would unsettle me, because I know God is with me. And that's not to say that bad news isn't hard. Bad news can tear our hearts in two when we're going through that. I've experienced that. I know many of you have experienced that. But this I know, in the handful of times in my life that I've had permanent, life-altering, heart-wrenching bad news come to me, that God has proven Himself faithful, that God was absolutely my stronghold, my refuge, my rock in those times. And so because of that, I can look to my future today, not knowing what my future is, and say, I don't fear. I don't have to fear bad news. And so I said early on in this live stream that I am learning to do this. And I just want to come right around and end our time together with that. It's something that I'm learning, because I do tend to worry, especially as it relates to the ministry that I have a great deal of responsibility for, and I'm very aware of my own limitations, and I'm compelled to trust God every single day. And I'm growing to continue to meditate on who He is, and no matter what happens in the future, God is going to be with us all the way, and that God is the one who is building His kingdom. He just happens to be using us, these very flawed people. And I rest in that. It allows me to kind of quell some of my worry or my concern about what's going to happen tomorrow, in the future, and so on. So every day that's why I wanted to land on this verse today, because I'm learning to trust in the Lord, capital Lord, Yahweh, the I Am, the one who is controlling it all, the one who is sovereign over all, trusting in Him so that my heart will be made firm today. No, not fear. bad news. My heart is firm because my trust is in the Lord. So be blessed today, and I'm praying for you. Whatever you're going through, God is with you, and He will give you strength. He is right there, holding your hand, if you will, right at your elbow, walking through the valley of the shadow of death. So we get through it. There is another side. So be blessed today.